we see what the FBI's been up to, which is no good. The way they've targeted Trump, I think they're still targeting Trump. I don't think they've learned a damn thing, and I don't think they care because the Democrat Party's behind them and defends them. But there's the other side of this, which is cover-up and protection. And Durham says in his report that's pretty much what happened to Hillary Clinton. And I'm arguing it's pretty much what's happening today, because the idea that there isn't a criminal special counsel appointment under the regulations of the Department of Justice, under what's already occurred, 20 shell companies, foreign money pouring in. Nobody has an explanation for any of this beyond the obvious, which is they were buying influence. And you see these acts by Biden really helping the communist Chinese. And yet nobody's investigating, not even a U.S. attorney. You're a former U.S. attorney. If you saw this information, what would you do? Is there anything you could do?
Mark, thanks for having me on. It's quite a moment in history to be watching this in real time and seeing this. And I can't look at what's happening with the Bidens without also having in my vision what has gone on that's been exposed in the Durham report. You have on one side, you have the vice president and president of an administration, the Obama administration, and the head of CIA and the FBI and DOJ, all conspiring to make a hoax look like a reality on the Russian collusion investigation. And then you have the same offices, same agencies, and many of the same people making what is real corruption and real crime out to be a hoax. And they're doing it while we're right in front of us. As U.S. Attorney, Mark, I would have indicted this case against the Bidens long ago. I would have indicted immediately Hunter Biden in order to put incredible amount of pressure on him to expose the full, level of corruption that is at stake. Everything I've seen, from the shell corporations that can't define what their business is, to the movement of money, the money laundering, to the tax evasion, all of it is really the bread and butter of what the FBI and DOJ used to investigate 15, 20 years ago.
And what do you make of the media that not only dismiss it, but attack Durham or attack James Comer, the head of the House Oversight Committee that lays all this out? Absolute lack of curiosity. And in the case of Joe Biden, they say, we want to see the connection between Joe Biden and this money. Well, why the hell do they think the communist Chinese and the Romanians and the others were giving money to the family members? Because of the Biden name. And so you conduct an investigation, right, to determine the extent to which there is corruption, and also to force perhaps Joe Biden to testify, or at least to provide answers to written questions. They forced Trump to do that with the Mueller phony investigation, no?
Well, you're right. But what's staggering is those in the media, those pundits, those formers that come on and they articulate that there hasn't been a connection to Biden himself, Joe Biden himself, is absolutely false. There's sufficient evidence to present it to a grand jury and to get an indictment. I'll tell you why. You have Bob Alinsky, who is already connected that money has flowed into the company and then out of the company, and that Joe Biden participated in receiving that money. You have already a whistleblower who came forward to the FBI and exposed the connection to Biden, and Chuck Grassley requested the document, said that it is reliable. That's information that a non-political DOJ and FBI would have utilized to expose what may be one of the greatest episodes of corruption our government has seen in the history of this country.
And yet the FBI, Christopher Wray, who strikes me as either way over his head, one of the dumbest guys to ever be FBI director, or thoroughly controlled by his underlings, and yet the FBI says that sources and methods are more important than determining whether the American people have in the Oval Office a thoroughly corrupt man who's on the take by foreign governments. Last time I checked, the FBI is not even in the Constitution, but Congress does have an oversight role, and this isn't some phony demand for tax returns and so forth. As you say, a whistleblower came forward, put his or her entire career on the line, and said there's a document in there that you folks need to see that the FBI is covering up. And the FBI hasn't denied the existence of the document. They just won't talk about it. When we come back, I want to pursue this further with you. Brett Tolman, you're absolutely terrific.